It's cold, it's nasty. This is not what you want to wake up to. Well, the same thing applies to your lawn. Your lawn is coming off the winter and it's going to be waking up into the spring. And what I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to talk to you about how to make your lawn comfortable during the wake up and when you should stop. There's a period, a transition zone, where you shouldn't be putting anything negative down. So we'll talk about negatives versus positives, and we'll talk about how to not overly push your lawn, but get your soil healthy so that when it wakes up in a comfortable environment. I'm gonna go put a coat on. It's cold out here. Okay, so it's cold. It's cold for me. It may not be cold for you, but it's cold. Highs in the 40s, lows in the 20s. It's February in Georgia. What we're going to learn today is we're going to learn today about the end of the dormant season and applying negatives, a transition zone where we start to focus on soil health without a whole bunch of energy, and then transitioning into the more energy craving spring. So let's think about this. When you wake up in the morning and it's 50 degrees, you don't want to get out of bed. That's why they have those programmable thermostats. They kick on 30 minutes before you get out of bed and you wake up and it's 70 degrees. It's wonderful. Same thing for your Bermuda lawn. Look, right now, your Bermuda lawn is asleep, so we can do negative stuff to it. You don't want to use you don't want to use total killing products like Roundup. You never do that because your lawn is never totally dormant. But we can apply weed killers, pre-emergents. We can do whatever we want right now to our lawn because it's kind of like doing surgery. And when do you do surgery? When the patient is asleep, the anesthesia. And cold weather is the anesthetic for Bermuda lawn. So our lawn is asleep, it's under anesthesia, and we can do the negative stuff to it. But there's going to be a period, which I call the transition zone, where we want to have all those negatives done. The transition zone is when the temperatures start to bump up. All of a sudden you start to see 60s every day. Then you start to see 70s. And you're starting to see sprigs of green pop up. That's the transition zone. And during the transition zone, all we want our soil to be healthy. And how can we do that? We're going to load it up with carbon and we're going to put down a light balanced coat of fertilizer, not a high nitrogen one. You do not want to do that. So we're going to come out here. For me, probably in another couple weeks is when I would do the Jumpstart program. It's in the Bermuda Lawn Guide. In the description below, I'm going to link to all the products. I'll link to the Bermuda Lawn Guide. All that stuff is on that page below. In the Jumpstart program, we put out a light coat of PGF Balanced, which is a 10-10-10 super fine particle with micronutrients and iron. And it's all fast release. Remember, it doesn't take weeks to get in. It's all fast release fertilizer. It's specifically designed for this purpose. It's very mild, it's very light. It'll go into the soil, and all these nutrients that have been leached out of our upper, 6 inches of soil over the winter, we're going to slowly put back in with that 10-10-10 balance. The humichar that we're putting down. The humichar will add humic acid and carbon into our soil. Now, I've said this before, there's 1 hour, if you're a gardener, lawn care person, farmer, whatever you are, there's 1 hour that will change your life. That's it. 1 hour will change your life and change the way you think about plants. And it's Gabe's video. I'm going to put it on that page below. And everyone that has watched that video has said, Doc, that's amazing. That's amazing. It'll open up your eyes. It'll open up your eyes and help you understand monocultures. Our lawns are monocultures, and you'll understand why this year during the summer we're going to be doing some of the stuff we're doing, putting down cheap organic material like chicken feed and soybean, introducing carbon, adding soil microbes. Those are the things we're going to do to improve our soil health so we can use less and less fertilizer. Got it? That's what we're going to be doing. So make sure whatever you do, watch that video. So we want to feed our soil gently. We're going to be adding carbon to it, and then we're just going to leave it alone. Once we start to see green spring up everywhere around our lawn, that's where we can kick in the scalp and the scalp project. So we go ahead and we scalp it down. Now everything's starting to grow. It looks wonderful. Then we can switch over to our regular PGF Complete. So I'm hoping every year I try and bring in new equipment and show you stuff. I got a sprayer, pull toe behind sprayer that I did a review on. I got a toe behind spreader. But this year I wanted to bring in sort of a mid-range spreader with a large hopper. And the reason why I wanted to do that was because a lot of this organic material is very light. The bags are huge. Even Humichar. A 40-pound bag of Humichar is huge. So I didn't want a $99 spreader, but I didn't want a $600 professional spreader. So I brought in one, did a lot of research, and I'm bringing in one that hits right about $300, but it's a professional grade spreader with a huge hopper on it. And I think that's going to be kind of my go-to spreader this year. Last year I was using the green Lawn Star, but I took it down to the beach house. And I love the Lawn Star, but I think for this more organic type stuff that's really light, this bigger spreader is going to be really nice to use. So it's cold. My son's coming over, and I think he's going to be putting out some of this stuff for me today. He's working for us part-time this year, which is kind of nice. So I'm going to go back inside till he gets here. Okay, so we're gonna start by putting out some Humichar. And one of the reasons why I like the bigger hopper spreaders is a 40-pound bag of Humichar is big because Humichar is light because it's biochar and humic. So let's talk about the settings. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust this until I get, I call it a pinky hole. So basically a pinky size hole in here is about what I want to see, and that's my Humichar setting. Now, when I go to the PGF Balanced, I'm going to go very small. That's what my holes will look like on the PGF Balance. Okay, so Humichar first. Make sure it's off, which I always forget to do. So you can see, now that was a huge bag of Humichar, and I still have room for more if I wanted to. I think this is a 110-pound rated hopper, so weight-wise, no issues, but that's the Humichar. People ask all the time, is it pet safe? Is Humichar pet safe? Can I put too much out? Is it going to hurt my lawn? There's Humichar. There's nothing harmful in it. It's just biochar and it's humic acid. So don't go around eating it, but you can. I mean, there's nothing in it. There's no nutrients. There's no negatives. It's just there to make your soil better. Okay, so we've got all the Humichar put out. That's the carbon into the soil. And now we're gonna put out the balance. So this is PGF Complete or PGF Balanced. And it's a 10-10-10. It's the only one I know of on the market. I don't know of it. I asked the Andersons to make it for us. It is a super, super fine grain 10-10-10, all quick release with micros and with iron. There's no other like it. All the 10-10-10 out there is basically crappy rock stuff. It's made to be cheap. It's made for large scale gardens. They don't make any professional grade 10-10-10 for lawns, hence this product. Okay, so this is important. It's important to understand how fine this is. It is super, super fine, and that's the wonderful thing about it. Important point. We're going to talk about timing. We're going to talk about weather. And why is this so critical? Because today it's 39 degrees and it's a little bit of sleet and rain. It's cold out here, man. It feels like bone chilling cold. It's going to get down to the 20s later this week. In 2020, I went back to historical data. On this day, it was sunny and 72 degrees. So can you understand how people get confused about the timing of this? That's why I say there's no exact timing for this. You sort of have to look at your forecast and sort of plan with it, because right now I can still do, my lawn is not going to come out of dormancy. I have not entered into that transition zone. If I start to look at the 10-day forecast, I'm like, no, this ain't it. Last year, we had some really warm temperatures move in early, so my grass started the transition earlier. So is there an exact time? And the answer is no. You really have to sort of just play it by ear. Now, is there a chance of a late frost moving in? Yeah, I'm not really worried about that. I'm more worried about the average of the temperature. So last year we were warmer earlier. This year, man, it is just bone-chilling chilly out here. So I'm not in my transition zone, so I can go ahead and do anything I want as far as the negatives. It's no problem. For me, I'm sort of mid-Georgia. That real transition starts probably around March, middle of March. That's when we start to get the warmer temperatures move in. Our Bermuda starts to wake up. And you just have to sort of look at that and say, when am I going to see 70s start to consistently move in? When I see 70s start to consistently move in, that's pretty much my transition zone. That's where I'm going to back off and I'm going to leave it alone. So put down your cold stuff early. Put down your negative stuff while you're cold like this. Shortly after that, or about the same time, you can start throwing down some humichar and put down the 10-10-10. And then sit back and sort of wait for the lawns to enter that transition zone. We're really not going to throw down any PGF complete or high nitrogen fertilizers until we would probably right after that scalp. Right after that scalp is when I'm going to start to kind of push my lawn, and that's when we can push it hard. Guys, I hope this has helped. Any other questions? I'd probably go in the description on that page. I think we have a section open for comments. Push the like or hate button. I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you hate it. Push one of them. Talk to you later. Bye.